Hi, I'm Nancy with Factory Direct Crafts, and today we're going to be making a poly mesh wreath. You're going to need a 12-inch wire rim for the wreath. You're going to need, this is the apple green poly mesh, and this is 18 inches. I've got some dried raffia grasses here. You're going to need the pink hydrangeas, and I have 3. And this is artificial grasses, berries, and beads stems. What I've got there. You're going to need some of these. These are the pipe cleaners and it's good to get the kind with not much fuzz on them. And I have them in white. This is 2-inch natural ribbon, kind of a jute woven stuff. And I've also got some styrofoam decorated Easter eggs, some wire cutters, and I think that's all you need. Let's get started. The first step, and the most important step, is putting the wire pipe cleaners onto the wire wreath, because that's what's going to hold the poly mesh on. And there's a certain way of doing this, and then it's real easy to do this project. What I want you to do is I want you to put, as you can see I've done here, put one on the inside ring, and I'm going to go through this little hole that's there that holds it all together. So this one cannot move at all on the wreath, okay, and twist it so it stays there, okay, see that? And then you're going to put one in between those in the middle of the outer part of the wreath. And these you need to twist really tight so that they'll stay in place, okay? And that's what I have done, as you can see here, all the way around, inside at each of those things that hold it all together, and then the middle of the outside ring, okay? And I've got one here. I have all done, all my wires in place. So now I can start putting the poly mesh stuff on. And I'm using the apple green. This one's going to be for Easter time, and I think it's going to look really good. I'm just going to let this roll down onto the floor. And this is what you do. First of all, this edge, I should probably clean it up a little bit here. I'm going to trim it. Okay. Now I'm going to turn it under a bit. Like this, okay. And I'm going to put that, first I'm going to go in around the outside ring of the wreath. This part here, I'm going to just use these on the outside. And I just lay it in there and I tie it on. Tie it on tight. And I have that edge folded under so I don't have a rough edge anymore, okay? But there's just a little bit there. It's going to be covered when I come around again, okay? So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go down about 8 or 12 inches, and I'm going to kind of bunch it to that next one, staying on the outer side of the wreath, and just bunch it into your wire thing there, okay? Twist it tight and turn it. Keep those upward. And you're going to continue to do this all the way around the wreath, just like that. Okay, now as you can see, I've gotten all the way around the outside edge. Now I'm going to take my mesh and I'm going to move on into the inside ring, okay? Not cutting it or anything, I'm just continuing on, but going to the inside. Okay, so I'm taking my like 12 inches or so and just bunching it up and tying it down on the inside, and this is what's going to fill it in. Okay, I'm at my last place now. I'm going to connect back where I crossed over to the middle, and so I'm going to see how much I need for this last one, and then I'm going to allow a little bit extra, like 4 inches or so, 3 inches, and I'm going to cut it there because I'm going to want to tuck that under like I did at the beginning when I started. Okay, so I'm going to take this, tuck that under, and then I'll come down in here and see, this is where I started. You can see this there. I'm going to tuck it in there and tie that down now. See how it's all filled in? Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to add this natural ribbon stuff. And how you do that is you're going to go from the outside, you go to your outside wire. Let me find one here. And I'm going to tie it in there. We're going to continue to use our ties. I'm going to tie it down there, and it'll tuck under. This has a little bit of a wire in it, so you can do stuff with it too. Then I'm going to cross over, and I'm going to leave it kind of loose on top. Cross over down to the inside wire. Okay? Tie it down that way. Then go over to the outside. And I'm going to just keep going back and forth on here. And we'll see what it looks like. Now I've made a bow out of this same natural ribbon. And I'm going to use my same pipe cleaners I've been using right where I ended. And I'm going to tie this bow on here. If you don't know how to do a bow like this, there is a tutorial on this too. But I'm hoping you know how already. And I'm just going to wire that on. Make sure that's good and tight. Okay, so now I've got a bow on there too. The next thing we get to do is start adding the flowers. You know what? We probably should start with the raffia. Because once that goes on, the flowers go on, we don't want this stuff covering it up. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to take it and weave it through the same way I've been doing everything else. Okay, so just go through with your twist wires and start twisting it on. And I'm going to go all the way around the wreath, just the same way, back and forth. Okay, now we're going to add the pink hydrangea. And what I've done, see, they come like this with the long stem, and I've just cut it off here. I've kept the leaves on, but you don't want that long a stem. And so now I'm going to look at my wreath, and where would these look good? So I'm going to just say, I want one right there. So go back to my twist ties, stick it down in there. I've got that bent down at the bottom too. And so when I twist this on, it'll stay really good, and I can adjust the leaves. See how that looks? Looks really good with this apple green mesh. Okay, I'm going to do another one. See how this thing just fills in? Oh, here's a tag I want to take off. Factory Direct has really nice artificial flowers. I was really pleased when I got these. They really look pretty. Okay. Let's see. I think over here. Okay, and you're going to just continue around with your flowers, placing them where they look good to you. Next, I've cut some of these beaded grasses that I have here, and I've cut just some of the portions off, and I've added them to the wreath. Same way I've been doing everything else. See this here? And then the last touch I'm going to add is these styrofoam eggs. And what we do with those is here's the styrofoam egg, and I'm taking my pipe cleaner, and because it's styrofoam, I can just push that pipe cleaner right up into that egg, just like that. And then see, this is an easy way to attach. And as you can see, I've attached quite a few already, but I'm going to add a bunch more. And you just kind of look around where they would look good, and with that wire on there, you can just wrap it around. I'm using these too to hide some of my other pipe cleaners. Just wrapping right around there, and it just hides all that and adds that little bit of color and makes it an Easter wreath. Now, you know, you could just take these off and switch it up and do a different holiday with it or anything, but there you go. There's your product, and I think you're really going to be happy once you get it done.